Alright, well now I'm ready to put some foam, fill in the main, put in the banks in the main bridge area here. And what I'm going to do is right here where the bridge abutments are going to be, I mean there's going to be some square, well maybe not totally square, but blocks of foam in place, and that'll support the end of the bridge on either side. You can see how I notched things out here where the tracks are going so that it's a little bit more square there, and actually the blocks of foam will support the end of each bridge. And what I'll probably do is kind of shave these down to size so that they're, well, shave them so that they're more or less square, and then wrap the outside with probably a plaster casting that I'll do. I'll make my own rubber mold out of gauze and silicone rubber from Woodland Scenics, and cast these maybe 1/4 inch thick panels, and basically wrap the outside of the foam to make sure, you know, make it look like basically the bridge abutment was cast in concrete. And for a little digression here, fortunately don't have any live video of how I made these things. I didn't think about it when I first made these about 5 years ago, but I'll probably be doing the bridge abutment panels as a cast mold. But anyway, just kind of a quick overview of how I did these bridge piers. These are not commercial bridge piers, but I got the idea for doing this because I had actually I started off with making these bridge piers first, and this will be more, I guess will be an old-fashioned, older style bridge pier made out of giant blocks. And the way I did this was I took a commercial bridge pier. I can't remember who made it, whether it was Atlas or Lifelike or something like that. Anyway, I made a mold using gauze and silicone rubber, using a combination of that. And it's pretty easy to do. I just took the pier itself and lightly first coated it with some that latex rubber compound, then wrapped it with a thin layer of gauze, and then just kept doing several layers of gauze and then silicone rubber compound to get this little mold here. And then pour the plaster in, and I end up with something that looks like that. Looks all pretty rough as it is, but and then I took an X-Acto knife and just started scoring lines in it, horizontal lines, to make all the brick blocks. And to be honest, this is probably not to N scale, but it has a really the proper scale. I'm using N scale, and these blocks may be a bit on the big side, as they probably are, but I think I was going for an overall effect, never than for scale correctness. And so what I did was I scored these lines using the X-Acto knife horizontally, then started cutting vertically to make individual bricks. And I took the whole piece and then dipped it in an acrylic wash of, I think it was burnt sienna and red ochre. I mean, just some water and some acrylic paint. And I think it was, you know, a few drops of each to give it a brown color. Then I took some artist chalk, some brown artist chalk, and then colored in the rest, gave this a little dusting. So that's how I did these bridge piers. And now for these other ones that have this nice point to them that you see on modern bridges to divert water flow, I did something a little bit different. I also went the gauze and silicone rubber route, and what I did was, for my mold, I made it out of 1/4 inch plywood. Yeah, I drew the basic outline on the block of wood that I glued together, and then used a belt sander to sand this little mold, or this little, what would you call it, a die. I think the correct term is a die. for making the mold, and sanded it down to the way I wanted to the size proportion. These are actually two separate pieces, so I just glued, once I had this sanded to the right size and this sanded to the right size, I just glued one on top of the other. And then what I did next was take a little water and run it over the side to raise the grain, because I wanted to get the effect on the bridge pier that it was cast in a wood form, and to get the kind of individual board effects. So what it is, I rubbed some water over this, it raised the grain, and then after it dried, I sealed it off with a couple of thin coats of, I think it was urethane, just so when I actually put the rubber, silicone rubber around it and the gauze, it wouldn't soak up even more liquid and get too grainy, so to speak, so that it wouldn't warp or anything like that. So I kind of put that around there to protect it. So what I end up with after I cast it is this. And as you can see, the plywood creates a nice wood grain effect, as though this had been created using actual wood forms. So that was the kind of effect I wanted on here. And what I did was made it oversized, so I have the option of adjusting the height by either cutting it or sanding it down, either taking it off the top or taking it off the bottom. So as you can see the difference in size and how much I had to take off to get it right. And this little mold turned out to be a little bit tricky to deal with. I found that if I tried filling it with plaster and left unsupported, it would bulge out. I have a few experiments on my website where I saw where you can see my initial disasters when I was experimenting around with this. But I came up with an idea to give this mold some support,